So our next presentation is the first reading of the policy, 2075, maintaining district neutrality on non-school related matters.
So I could just provide a quick overview. I don't know if we intended on reading the policy. I'll lose my voice before I get to the bottom of it, so someone else will have to do that. So this policy is just really meant, and I appreciate Mr. Farrar for bringing up a way to look at it that I can't say that I've considered, so now I want to reread it through that lens of is the policy precluding us from doing other things that we typically do? So I'll certainly reread it to make sure that's not the case. But really what this policy is meant to do is to capture what we have said time and time and time again in public meetings, that every employee's personal life is their personal life and their professional life is their professional life, and never shall the two cross, especially when it comes to talking about controversial issues, political, social, or economic issues. So it's an understanding, it's our practice, it's something that everyone's aware of. We talk about it from new employee orientation through the year they retire, but we didn't really have a policy that pulled out all of that into one succinct piece. And that's really what the intention of this policy is. This isn't a change in practice. This is what we're already doing, but this is essentially codifying what it is that we practice, which is there's personal beliefs, religious, political, social, don't have a place in school, and unless it's directly tied to the curriculum, should not be a topic of conversation amongst our students and staff.
Again, the force of this is comparing a regular phone call to a text message. I got a phone call, and I didn't understand it, but I got a text message. It's in print. Now I understand it. This is important. We need this in writing for all our employees and, school district related officials to understand that this is our district policy on neutrality on non-school related matters. And Joe, I do not believe it will stop us from recognizing our veterans or our EMS people. They're part of our community, and to show respect for them, I don't think that interferes at all. But as Dr. Luff said, he'll reread it. I've read it quite a few times. I like it. I think this is what we need. Something in writing that's there. That's we can send people to and take a look at it. This is our district policy. This is important. And I thank you, Dr. Luff, for preparing this.
Students, how do you feel about teachers being neutral or students being neutral and still having opinions? I mean, how do you feel
between student-teacher opinions? Like between the student and the teacher?
Well, yeah, or students in class or teachers in class or...
Well, I think that any political, religious, or any beliefs that they have should be kept, well, obviously outside the classroom and outside a conversation between a student and a teacher.
I agree.
Because I just don't think there's any room for that in the classroom, especially with everyone having different beliefs nowadays. I think it could strike problems within the classrooms and the community unless it's a part of the curriculum that's been assigned.
Okay.
That's what I feel about it.
Yeah, I feel it's hard because there are some things that are put out there and you never know where anyone's getting their information either. So having unwarranted conversations about specific political views and things like that in a classroom, it's just not an appropriate setting for some of those conversations. And I think that this is definitely important in making sure that staff members know this.
Thank you. Yeah.
Good, thank you.
Great insight.
Yeah. I agree.
So maybe we all need to reread this before we read it out loud.
No,
Make sure.
I think as is, I would really like to adopt this tonight. The longer we wait, we can have an individual come to us and say, I never knew about this. Where's your policy that states that we need to be neutral in the classroom? We don't have it. This is it. We need this on the books tonight. We've been dancing around this issue now about 3-4 months. this has to be part of our policies. This is important. We need this neutrality, especially in the classroom. We can't risk that slippery slope.
And Sam, it's on the agenda tonight to approve the first reading,
Right.
and in 2 weeks, it'd be on the agenda for the final.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Let's not stall it. Let's do that and approve the first reading. And then, if somebody sees any changes on this, I don't see any changes. I think this is excellent. And our 2 students certainly represent this point of view. We need to have this on the books so that an individual can't come to us and say, I didn't know about this. What are you talking about? You spoke about it? When did you speak about it? Like I said, a phone call means nothing. You have it in writing, like a text or an email. That means something. We need this in the books. Really, I'm very adamant about this.
I haven't heard anything that would lead me to believe that we wouldn't continue on the path we're already on, right? We approve the first reading now, and then that'll line us up, as we typically do, to approve it the next meeting, and
Yeah.
then it would be in the book, so.
That would be
I don't
fine.
think even if we made changes, we can make changes between the first and second reading, so I agree with you. I think it's in pretty good shape, but I have no problem taking another look at it. But if that was the case, we made changes, we could do another first reading and then waive the second reading next meeting to not slow it up anymore.
Dr. Love, can you just review the policy distribution, what the plan would be for that?
So, obviously, all policies are available to anyone in the community online. They're also embedded within our some of them are embedded with our student and faculty handbook. So our intention for this policy would be to embed it in the next printing of our faculty handbook. So faculty handbooks handed out each year or signed off by faculty each year, and that would be our way to receive sort of authorization that everyone's aware of it. Another policy we spoke about doing was once the board adopts new policies, so we're finishing up our complete review of all policies once we finish our code of conduct. And as the board continues its policy review process, our plan is to then send out updated policies as they come along to faculty and staff, and that'll be our way to keep them up to date if any changes. We can't do that when you're changing hundreds of pages at a time like we have been this year, but once we get to just the revision process, that's our intention, is that we will continue to update them policy by policy as they change moving forward. But in this case, we anticipate this being part of the faculty handbook, and certainly something we could send out to faculty and staff via email.
Will
you.
there be a conversation around this with faculty so that they understand the intent and the spirit behind it? I think it's clearly written, but someone else may not.
Right.
And I think that that's important because it can be a place of sensitivity for some people. And I think that they just understand that we are doing our due diligence as public employees. We are protecting all of the students in our building, all of the faculty members in our building by remaining neutral when we're in our positions of official district capacity.
Exactly.
And I think that is the spirit of this. I think that just needs to be clearly communicated. That's what this is about. And I do think that it would be good to have a conversation in that light, if possible. If that's not advisable, then that's fine. But I think that it should be more than just distribution.
Sure. So I have no problem with having a conversation with building principals about incorporating this into an upcoming faculty meeting. It's my honest opinion, I don't think there'll be one inkling of surprise from staff. This is what they've been told since the day they were hired. This is what their expectations are day to day. Maybe the only surprise may be that it's not already a policy. So I don't expect there to be really much pushback or surprise amongst anyone.
I don't think
But
so.
I have no problem of letting the computer go to sleep. I feel like I should know the password, but I don't. Oh, is it written in front of me? What? Sorry. If you don't want me to know, you shouldn't print it on the computer. This is not a typical meeting. I apologize. We get a couple weeks off, all of a sudden the wheels are falling off, batteries are dying, computers are going to sleep. So yeah, I think there'll be no surprise amongst the faculty and staff, but I have no problem of finding another way to make sure they understand really what the intention of this policy is.
And again, it's important to have it in writing. We don't, and that's why this is necessary.
I agree.
Good. Thank you again,
you.
Dr.
Thank you.
Okay. While you're there, you want to do the calendar discussion?
That's why I'm here.
Okay.